Len,
Yeah?
come here.
What?
Tell me your fun fact about cats and hearing.
Cat's hearing is around 10 times better than normal people's hearing.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
And why is that, or how do they use it, or?
I think they have it for wild cats, or they evolved to have it so they could be aware if a predator was coming.
So, is our cat Frankie Blue Nicholas, aka the Booper, has his hearing? Is it 10 times advanced, or does it recede because he's always an indoor cat and mom doesn't let him go outside?
I don't know. I have no idea.
That's an interesting tidbit, don't you think?
Uh-huh.
All right. And what about their vision?
It's really good at night. It's better than humans are able to see in the dark, and I think it might be a little bit worse than people.
Okay. Yeah, because sometimes, if I feed Frankie or I whatever in the middle of the night, grab a Quest bar, and then I go back to bed, I turn off the light, and I feel bad, but then I'm like, well, he can see really well, so.
Yeah, cats can see good in the dark, but I don't know about in the morning when it's bright.
Yeah. And Frankie Blue Nicholas spends the majority of his day
Staring out the window.
2 centimeters from a window screen, staring out the window. That has to affect his vision, yeah?
Probably. Maybe not, though.
Maybe. It's like us staring at our screens.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Definitely not.
It's definitely not that, honey.
Today he was looking out the window, and then I opened the window. I lifted up the window pane, and I was like, this is the 4K version.
Hey, Len.
Yeah.
There's more to life. Take 2. Hey, Len.
Yeah.
There's more to life than staring at a small screen in the constant and endless pursuit of entertainment and pleasure.
Yeah.
Now go become a famous YouTuber so me and mommy can retire.
Okay. And oop.
So we saw The Batman in a movie theater. And it's an hour too long. It's good, but it's way too long.
Right.
But at the end, Robert Pattinson on a motorcycle goes one way. Zoe Kravitz, Catwoman, goes the other way. And they part to be continued. But darkness ensues. Fade to black. Screen fades to black. Credits roll. And then people applauded. What's up? And we were in a full house, and I would say 5% applauded.
It was so cringe.
It was sparse.
I've never been in a movie where I wanted to clap at the end. And
Exactly.
I've never once been in a movie where people did clap where I didn't literally cringe.
Who are these people? I'm all for the communal aspect of going to see a movie, a big time comic book movie on a big screen, and it was a packed house. I'm not exactly sure, but our row was completely full, so I imagine it was near capacity.
The whole theater looked quite full.
Our theater.
Yes.
But at the end, I'm just like, okay. I want to talk to you, so I want to get out of the theater ASAP. I want to go pee because it's a freaking 3-hour-long movie.
We both raced to the toilets.
Yeah, but I want to talk to you ASAP, but I don't understand the inclination to applause.
It's so dumb.
It's dumb. And do they think Robert Pattinson is going to come out from the theater? from the curtain and be like, hello, thank you for seeing my movie and thank you for your applause.
You only clap at a live performance.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Who are these people? What is their thought process? Are they so moved that they physically can't control themselves? They have to stand up and cheer.
Yeah. Or I don't understand it. Robert Pattinson is not going to come out from the curtain. And we are in a group setting, so it's cool when something funny happens and a bunch of people laugh, or a big time action scene happens and you're like, whoa, and a lot of people are taking it in at the same time. But when the movie ends, just move on with your life, man.
Band clapping in theaters.
Yes. Yeah, never mind talking in the theater. Never mind texting in the theater. Never mind eating noisy M&M bags in the theater. Ban clapping in the theater.
Security, remove these people.
Yeah, even though the movie's over and they're leaving anyways. Don't let them validate their parking. Don't let them validate their parking.
Yes.
And they got to pay $18 for parking.
Yes, now you're talking.
And oop.
Hey, Lennox.
Yeah.
Get more bottles. These bottles are lonely. You know who said that?
Drake.
Post Malone.
Oh. I knew it was someone.
The guy who sang Sunflower.
Someone who sings songs.
You want more?
I don't. Do you, Vincey?
No, we got enough.
Oh, that was a joke.
What are you, bartender?
And oop.
Today, Luna said to me, "Why is everyone talking about Robert Pattinson's jaw in the Batman movie?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's hot."
It's very pronounced.
And then she said, "What's up with chiseled jaws?" And she said, "Boys are always trying to take a sexy picture of their jawline."
That's how you choose a mate. Gaston, ever hear of him? Greetings, Internet. Welcome to But I'm Still a Good Person by Vince Nicholas. I'm Vince Nicholas. I'm joined by my sparkling wifey, Carolyn Nicholas.
Hello.
Hello, honey. Thank you for joining me at our dining room table for our little program here. Okay, so...
And oop.
We're going to talk about two events in our life. The first one is that we got pedicures, and the second is that we got hot food from the Walmart deli, specifically orange chicken and other nonsense, potato wedges, cheese, other crap. But let's start out. It was our Saturday. Let's start out with Peony, which is a spa. Nail salon.
It's not a spa. It's a nail salon.
It's a nail salon in West Sacramento. And then we went to Walmart after to get food. But okay, Peony. We booked ahead of time. We walked in there at 9 a.m.
That's the earliest because that's when they open.
Yeah. And our Walmart excursion was at 11. And we walked into Peony. You booked two people. That's me and you, honey. We're people. We matter. But because I needed a pedicure because I'm a real man. I'm a red-blooded heterosexual American man. And I have a real job where I take a lot of steps. I wear steel-toe shoes. I'm very masculine, honey. But I was like, I need a pedicure.
Yes.
I need a pedicure, girl.
You're not moisturizing your feet every day, are you?
Listen, I don't wash my belly button every day, and I do not moisturize my feet. I'm a real man, honey. What part of the real man did you know? No, do you put lotion on your feet or Aquaphor?
I do.
Every day?
Every day.
Wow.
And yet they're still hella dry.
Oh, well, see.
And crusty.
Yeah.
So yeah, I needed a pedicure badly as well.
Okay. And we got our Joe Biden money for our tax refund. So I was like, well, let's get a couple pedicures. And we went in... Because I had never gotten a pedicure in my life until our torrid love affair. Yeah. And it was specifically at Peony.
Right.
A year and a half ago or so.
Since we moved here to West Sac, you have been getting pedicures about once every 6 months.
Yes. And went to Peony. I got my first one. I got the low end, which is $30.
Peony has a ridiculous number of pedicures you can choose from.
Yeah,
they have so many options, and the lowest is $35, goes all the way up to like $80.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
and so the first time you went, you got the lowest, cheapest one, and then I remember, the second time you got the most expensive one.
That's when we went to Palladio, also West Sacramento, nail salon.
Yeah,
and I was like, I'm doing it up. I'm big time. I'm out here.
I think that was about your birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was treating you.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't really see a difference.
No, there's no difference.
The difference is time, because I was in that freaking chair for an hour and a half, and I was like, okay, I get it.
They just keep adding, like, here's a moisturizer, here's this scrub. Here's another moisturizer. Here's another lotion.
Here's some rocks, and we hope you tip us more. But so this time we were like, we're both getting the bottom of the barrel, low rent. It was $30. It was actually $32 because they added. So okay, we walk in, and right at the little counter reception area deal, they have a sign that says everything is $2 more. It's like, okay, thanks, Joe Biden. So is it the labor shortage? Is it the Great Resignation? Is it the chip shortage? Is it I don't know. Is it the supply chain? But
yes.
Is it Let's Go Brandon? But everything. So everything is $2 more. And I thought like when you go to restaurants, you'll see Belgian waffles $10.99. But then like they don't want to print 100 new menus, so they just slap on like a sticker that says $12.99, and you're like, oh well, this is a sticker that they slapped on because they had to change the price. And okay, but this sign at the front desk, instead of printing out 50 new menus of options of pedicure options, I was like, okay, everything's $2 more. Thank you, Kamala Harris. Thank you, Gavin Newsom. Thank you, Joe Biden. Masks. So we walk in, and it had the sign, masks. You need to wear a mask. And we were wearing a mask. And then your gal, your pedicurist, masseuse,
yeah,
was wearing a mask. But my gal was not wearing a mask.
Right.
So I was like, all right, well, if she ain't wearing a mask, I ain't wearing a mask. And like a lot of businesses, and the mask, whatever, California Health Department has receded, or it's no longer required. It's strongly recommended. But a lot of businesses haven't changed their signs. So you walk in confused, and you're like, okay, they still have their signs up. But my salon gal isn't wearing a mask. So I was like, okay, well, if she's not wearing a mask, I'm not going to wear a mask.
It's very confusing.
Yeah.
And what I usually have been doing, I realized, is if the employees are wearing masks, then I wear one. Just in solidarity with them. But sometimes it's confusing because
solidarity, brother. Yeah.
Some of the employees are and some are not.
Yeah.
So then I don't know what to do.
Yeah. I think I see the employees are usually all masked, although if you walk to Walmart, about 30% aren't. But if I see one customer who isn't masked up, then I'm like, okay, I'm in the free and clear. I'm not wearing a mask. So we walk in and we check in. We had appointments. And then right away they say, oh, wash your hands. What? Why?
Yeah. They make, I don't know if this started with COVID, but they always make you wash your hands as soon as you walk in at this particular place, Peony. Yeah. And which I get when you're getting your fingernails done. Okay. Because the person has to like touch and handle your hands.
Gotcha.
But we were just getting pedicures.
Yeah.
So what do they care?
Yeah. And well, the only thing I can think of is that the little remote on the massage chair that we're touching. But those are encased in plastic.
Shouldn't they be wiping those down with Clorox wipes in between people?
Yeah, and I would like to see the my pedicurist wash her hands.
How about that?
Very confusing. So me and you sat next to each other, and it wasn't busy, but there were a couple people in there. There were like 6 people in there, customers. And so we were texting each other nonstop.
I don't think we spoke to each other the whole time.
About our pedicures. We had all the hot goss on them. But there was another couple ladies who were there together. And they were chatting out loud, like they were talking. So I texted you, should we be talking out loud? And then you said...
I said no.
You said no.
I said, no, those ladies are loud and annoying everybody.
And I said, okay. But then I thought, like, if we were texting each other, but do the pedicurist ladies think that we're texting about them? They gotta know something's going down.
They're probably talking about us. Who knows?
In looks and gestures. But Well, I thought we should talk out loud.
But we were talking mad S.
Yeah.
So we couldn't talk out loud.
We were. But I saw those ladies who were talking out loud, and I didn't think they were annoying. But you think from the pedicure standpoint that they were?
No, I was joking. I didn't really think they were annoying.
Oh.
But texting is fun. Like it adds some fun because we're like, hee, we're being secretive. Yeah. We can say whatever we want to each other. Yeah. And it was funny.
But see, if no one is talking, none of the customers, because the pedicures don't talk to each other. The customers,
they do.
Well, in language,
right?
Not English.
Exactly. They're talking to each other constantly.
The biggest thing that I noticed was I need to trim my leg hair, and I do that once every few months. I just do the some low end clippers.
I try to shave my calves before I go to get a pedicure and my feet. Yes, I shave my feet.
You do the preemptive measure. You do. You take a razor to your toesies
and the top of my feet. Okay.
Really? I'm
still a good person.
Wow.
I have hobbit feet.
No, you don't, darling. I had calluses. Are they calluses or bunions?
I don't know what the difference between a callus and a bunion, but you had something.
Yeah. Well, they build up. As I said, I'm a real man. And I walk a lot and I wear steel toe shoes.
Your feet are quite gnarly.
Yeah, they're good gnarly. And so my lady was like filing, like using a filer. It was like using sandpaper to a rock.
Oh dear.
But I appreciated it. So one thing that you don't want to do is make eye contact.
Oh yeah.
With your pedicurist.
You want to pretend like they're not a real person, and they want to pretend like you're not a real person.
Yeah.
Like we want to all be completely removed from what's actually happening.
Yeah, you exist in different planes, if you will.
Right. That little plastic barrier.
Yeah.
That they have since removed, actually. Do you remember, like, during the big COVID times, they had, like, a plastic barrier between us and them.
Right.
Now there's just, like, an imaginary barrier.
An imaginary plastic barrier. But one time, like, me and my pedicurist lady, we almost met eyes. Like, we almost made eye contact. I was like, that was close.
Did you both quickly look away?
I quickly looked away. She did not. But then later on, and that was early on in the pedicure, but later on, I made eye contact with her twice.
Oh, dear.
Twice!
Well, you know what? It's a very intimate thing.
Yeah.
Like, they're in between your toesies.
Oh, yeah.
They're all up in your feet.
Oh, yeah.
And who else ever is on your feet?
Yeah.
A doctor?
Yeah.
Your wife?
It's a huge experience. Like, you go through pleasure when they tickle you. You go through pain when they make you bleed, like she did with me. But at the end of the hour, you're like, should we, do you want to become friends?
Like, do you want my number?
Right? Should we become close best buddies, or do you want to have a chat later? Do you want to become neighbors? It's an experience. Like, I've had hair cutters, and like, I'm a guy, so my haircut takes 10-15 minutes, but I've had guys spend a half hour or so, and at the end I'm like, bro, let's hug it out, bruh. Like, you go through the highs and lows.
Yeah.
And you come out better people, or you come out closer. It's like Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves in Speed. They went through a tumultuous time with Dennis Hopper playing the bad guy, and then at the end they hooked up because they were like, "Wow, we've been through the highs and the lows.
No one else understands this experience,
right?" And so we're together now. We made it out alive, and so let's hook up. But you have a similar experience with Hazy, right? Your hair cutter. Like, you guys go to 3-hour tours.
Man.
Tour de force.
Yeah.
Like Gilligan's Island, a 3-hour tour.
And you share intimate details that you don't tell anybody else about things in your life. And you just let it, you bear it all. It's all laid bare.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's secret. Nothing is off the table.
Yeah. You share your closest, your darkest secrets. Your closest encounters. So yeah, I made eye contact twice, and I tried to look away, but it was too late. And she gave me this look, honey. And can you describe this look to Paul and Kathy Lewis and my mom and Liz Fisher? So we met eyes, and you were right next to me in the recliner right next to me. And I'm a married man, okay, but our eyes met, and her this was the look on her face. I hate it when podcasters do this. This is very visual. Have you seen any good viral videos on YouTube lately? I was watching this one TikToker. No, okay. This was the look she gave me. She went. Can you describe that? She was like. That
was like the biggest grin.
Yeah.
And nodding like, oh yeah, you like that?
Yeah. It was very enticing. And listen, I'm a married man, okay? Like, and you were right next to me. But I imagine like an old man going into a massage parlor and them getting a massage. And then it reaches the point where the gal goes, and he says, "Yes, I'll take a happy ending." That's what I imagine.
Oh dear!
Was we were on the verge there, or that was coming up?
Did you think that was? Is that on the menu, honey?
Is this on the $30 option? Because $32 option. Sorry, because of Joe Biden. Yeah, we met eyes twice. It was very awkward. I tried to look away as quickly as possible, but that's what she gave me. You were not a fan of your pedicures, honey.
Well, listen.
Yes.
I get a pedicure because the balls of my feet and the heel of my foot, it's like it needs to be sloughed. Sloughed? Scrubbed. Like a cheese grater.
Scrubbed, yes.
Like that dead skin needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can trim my own nails.
Yeah.
I can paint my own toenails.
Right.
I can apply moisturizer to my own feet.
Yeah.
But, technically I could slough it, but I'm kind of lazy.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I get a pedicure is so someone else can sit down there and like scrub off
grind in there
those layers and layers of dead skin.
File, yes.
Yeah, file the heck out of that. That is what I really need.
Yeah.
I need to come away with my heels being butter soft.
Yeah.
And she spent like literally 30 seconds scuffing the balls of my feet and the heels of my feet.
Yeah.
And then all the rest of it was like moisturizing, massaging.
Yeah.
Like trimming and filing my toenails.
Yeah.
So I was very disappointed because I reached down at one point because she was done and I was like, oh, she's done. She's not going to cheese grate my heels anymore.
Surprise ending like The Sixth Sense? Yes.
So I actually reached down and I felt, and I was like, yeah, it's still rough. I didn't say anything, but I just like,
I know.
Like, oh,
when you texted me that, because heaven forbid you talk to me when we're 2 feet away from each other, but when you texted me that, I was like, you felt your heels in front of her? And you were like, yeah. I was like, okay. Because that's quite the bold, quite the audacious move.
So I was disappointed.
And she put a cold towel on.
Oh, yeah. Towards the end of a pedicure, if you've been, they take a hot, wet towel. Yeah. Kind of like what you get in an airplane. Do they still do that in airplanes? Or is that old-fashioned? They give you a hot towel.
Not in the low-end Southwest, which I recently flew. Yeah.
So they give you a hot towel and they put it over your calves.
Yeah.
Oh, it feels so nice.
Yeah.
Like your pores are all opened up.
Yeah.
And it's very hot. So my towel she puts on me and it's cold. Cold and wet. So that's not nice or soothing or that's not serving the whole point and purpose of putting a wet towel on me.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine because I've had like sports clips and Supercuts definitely does the hot towel thing. And it's like, oh, I mean, I don't need it, but it's nice. But if it's a cold towel, it's like, well, I can do this at home. I gotta go home and shower. Like, what the hell is this? Where's the pampering? Where's the luxury?
So I was dissatisfied, but I think you had the worst injury occur.
Yeah.
The worst offense.
Yeah. So halfway through, 2/3, 3/4 the way through, and there was no pain, so I didn't notice it right away. But I look down and I see a stream of blood from my middle toe on my left foot. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of blood. And right then is one of the 2 times that we looked at each other, because I'm like, well, I'm bleeding here, lady. And she gave me the look like, oh, are you an old man who needs a happy ending? And I was like, no, what is going on? But yeah, I was bleeding profusely.
A lot.
Yeah.
And this isn't the first time you've bled at a pedicure, correct?
Yeah.
But
I've only had 3, and 2 of them I bled at. Like, what is this?
This was really, really bad.
Yeah.
But I wonder if, like, how does this happen? I guess it could happen, but are they being too rough?
When they dig in there with their like medieval shop teacher tools or whatever, they have like arrowheads that they stick under your toes to get every single piece of dirt and grime. I don't need that. And I remember like bleeding on my first time. I was like, okay, well, I don't need it that deep. That's what he said. And so I make it a mental note to tell the person, like, dude, like, I don't care about every last speck of dirt, but I just didn't say anything.
It is important in a pedicure or with any of these beauty services. You need to know what you can and can't tolerate.
Yeah. Because,
for example, I hate other people clipping my toenails.
Yeah.
So what I do is I clip my toenails like 3 days before my pedicure.
Yeah.
And then by that point, it's grown out a little bit, where I'm okay with them just filing it.
Yeah.
But I always tell them no clipping, no. And then when they file, I can tell when they start to like go a bit too far. And I'm like, nope, stop, you're done.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's part of the learning process.
Yeah.
Sometimes it hurts or it's uncomfortable, but I don't know if I've ever bled.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
And it wasn't painful, but visually I was like, wow, that's a red river there. I'm riding the red rocket, as some would say. But still, it's been a week, or it's been 6 days. There's no pain, but it's still bruised or damaged. It's still purpley or whatever. It's a small area on my middle toe on my left foot. And the other night, I pushed on it a little, and it's sensitive. It's a little touchy, but I hope it heals. Can I sue them if I die from this internal bleeding, or what did I sign a waiver or something? But yeah, that was something. They just dig too much. Like, let it go, lady. Like, let it go, sister. One of the other women, it was all women except me. What's up with that? She was getting whatever she was getting, a pedicure. She was wearing a dress, and you get up on these Brookstone Sharper Image recliners, and they gnaw away at your footsies, and she was wearing a dress, and they put a towel. They gave her a towel to put over her legs. But still, like, I would imagine that you could see her hoo-ha.
Yeah, because the ladies who are down working at your feet, they're at like a 45-degree angle looking up at you.
Yeah.
So you don't want that exposed.
You could see her, hey, nanny. And I was just like, why did this lady wear a dress to this event? Maybe she had somewhere to go right after. But still, it's like... think about the pedicurist. So in the end, it was $32 each. It was $30 and then a $2 surcharge because of Kamala Harris or whatever. And another thing is that, so I'm bleeding profusely, and I was like, well, I should get a discount. Like, can you give me $5? You made me bleed.
Yeah.
How about a couple of dollars off the till here?
Yeah.
Like, that only makes sense. Give me a you paint my car, you buff it out, and then maybe you damage the driver's side mirror. We'll knock 15% off that. Why didn't they offer that? But we tipped $5 each, which is on the low end.
It is on the low end, because I like to tip big.
Yeah.
But
and they put in about an hour's work on both of us. But you were not happy.
I wasn't satisfied.
I was bleeding. my blood cells were streaming out onto the floor.
Gosh, okay, your DNA was all over.
My DNA was all over. But so we tipped $5 each. Low end, but eh.
And we'll be back in 6 months, okay?
Well,
do better and we'll tip better.
For the cheap. So are you ever, do you ever get the big time package, the $80-ish? No?
No, because I realize it's all nonsense.
Yeah.
It's like just more and more scented like scrubs and lotions and it's like an extra long massage, which is nice. But again, the primary reason I go to get a pedicure is to get my heels and the balls of my feet like scruffed.
Yeah.
To get that skin off.
Yeah.
That's fine. Because I can make my feet look really pretty by myself here at home.
Yeah.
But I would like someone else to do kind of like the dirty work of scrubbing my heels.
Yeah.
So I don't need all that extra. I don't need it.
Yeah. I can dig it, but yeah, I'm just looking for the filing down, the sanding down of my bunions/calluses. And in my job, I know it'll come back fairly quickly, but it's nice to take it down a notch. Yeah. Well, like my second pedicure, when I got the high-end package, which was $80-ish.
Oh my goodness.
You were sitting right next to me and you took note and you were like, they did like 3 more things than I had. And it was whatever, $40 difference.
Yeah.
And it was way more time. It was like 20, 30 minutes.
You were so ready to leave.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, is this guy done yet? And it was like, no, it just kept going and going and going.
Yeah. But yeah, it's nice, but keep it cheap, keep it simple. Hopefully I'm going to say, yo, don't make me bleed.
Yeah.
Like simmer down with the knives over there.
And
who's the knife person?
Sweeney Todd?
Sweeney Todd?
I don't know.
And
Do you want to come with us to get a pedicure next time?
No. And
Okay, so then we went to Walmart for our grocery pickup. And how we do grocery pickup is we park and we do their pickup service where they pull all your groceries, they grab it, and they deliver it to your car while you sit in a parking spot. But you don't trust them to pick fresh veggies and fruits.
Yes.
So we do the pickup, but we also supplant it with walking in and grabbing vegetables and fruit, correct?
Correct.
And
And why don't you trust the Walmart employees with our fruits and or veggies, my love?
I'm very, very picky when I'm buying fresh produce.
Yes.
I examine you stand there with our cart and watch me, so you know, like, I'm kind of annoying about it. I look at like each box.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, honey. Okay, I would.
I look at each box of strawberries and like I pick it up. I look underneath and I look at like 10.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the thorough work that you do.
And I look at like a bunch before I find like the best looking, the plumpest.
Yeah.
For both fruit and veggies.
Yeah.
And I know that. And I don't blame them, but if I was doing this too, I'd just like grab, this looks decent, because you're probably in a hurry. They're very busy.
Yeah.
They have a lot of customers with big orders that they're trying to fill.
We've gotten like, well, what have we gotten? Oh, ground turkey. You bought ground turkey twice. So we did the pickup. We had ground turkey in the order. We came home. We pulled it out of the bag, and it was like there was all this blood. Speaking of blood from Peony, speaking of bleeding.
Yeah, it was a mess. And the other thing with something like fresh raw meat, I don't think they're also paying attention to the expiration date. And that's another thing I always look at.
Right.
So there's, like, I like to go in and buy our fresh ground turkey. I buy our raw pork chops that we like to eat. Because I like to look at, like, the size and the expiration date and all those things. Produce doesn't have an expiration date, but I want to make sure we're getting the best.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest needs no introduction. He recently took a shower.
He's chewing gum.
He's chewing gum.
He's dancing at the table.
He's dancing at the table.
He's known in his classroom at school for standing up and dancing.
Yes. He twerks on the playground. Let's give a warm welcome to the lovely, the talented Lennox Albert Garcia. Thank you for coming on, Lennox. And you're here because...
Why are you here?
To review.
To review Walmart hot food. Because you ate it with Luna was not here. She was here. Oh, she was upstairs.
She was here, but they didn't have anything like vegetarian for her.
Right. Well, we got her potato wedges. But she refused to come downstairs because...
We did get her. It was too early at noon on a Saturday, too early for her to come down and eat.
Yes. Lennox Albert, thank you for joining the program here.
Yeah, welcome.
You want to say hi to Grandma Liz or Paul and Kathy Lewis and Carrie Lewis and my mom?
Hello.
So, it was Saturday. We did our pickup. We got some fresh veggies. And then we were like, well, what are we going to do for food? And Lennox and Luna are home, as they are most of the time. So we always have to consider them. Because I was like, I want Uncle Pete's Cuisine. But Uncle Pete's Cuisine doesn't have fries. Doesn't have fried potatoes.
It's a bit more fancy.
Yeah. And fried potatoes are always like a sure hit with Lennox and Luna.
Oh, sure. Any sort of potato wedge fry.
Yeah. So in a moment of weakness, honey.
Well...
Yes.
I would like to point out,
yes,
every single weekend when we go inside Walmart to do our grocery shopping,
yes,
if you walk into a Walmart, generally the hot food behind the glass, it's right when you get inside.
Yeah.
And there's always like these clumps of chicken, mac and cheese,
mashed potatoes, potato wedges.
And every single time we walk in, you stop, point, and squeal.
Yeah.
And we look at it for a moment. And you're like, it looks so good. Well, and then we have to look at it.
I don't know if I made that noise, honey. What am I, a 17-year-old in 1978 seeing Donny Osmond in concert? Am I right, Lennox? Yes. I do point and I may squeal, yes.
So finally,
yes,
your dreams came true and we actually purchased some of them.
Yes, much like Pedro and Napoleon Dynamite, all my dreams will come true. Well, in regards to the deli, you like their chicken sliders. So when we roll in there Saturday and Sunday morning, they have a bunch of breakfast sandwiches.
They're like prepackaged little breakfast sandwiches. Yeah. And they are very good.
They're good. I would say they're too dry. They need some sort of sauce.
I like it.
But they're like $2 and you always get the chicken slider. They also have like biscuit with sausage and or bacon, which I've had. And it's not great, but it's $2. But I think in a moment of weakness, we were like, Lennox and Luna need fried potatoes of some kind. Uncle Pete's Cuisine does not have fried potatoes. We're here. Let's do this. Walmart got us. It's like in a casino when they don't have clocks on the walls, so you kind of lose yourself. Right. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's real anymore. That's what the Walmart hot food deli did to us.
I feel the need to point out.
Yes.
The Walmart bakery is very good.
Yes, they do good stuff.
They got good bakery foods. We got our wedding cake from the Walmart bakery.
We did, yeah.
So we were thinking, they're hot fried food. It's bound to be good too. Right.
Well, I would put it on par with like Save Mart. Every grocery store has a hot food where you can get like fried chicken, potato wedges, all sort of, sometimes mozzarella sticks. So I used to work at Walmart part-time for like a year or so. And I remember specifically one time I went to the Walmart hot food area in the deli, and they had mozzarella sticks and jalapeno poppers and chicken and all this stuff. And so I said to the lady working the counter, and I had my Walmart vest on, so she knew I was a fellow employee, although I never seen her. That's one thing about Walmart. Like, it's a terrible working situation. Like, you don't know, there's a couple hundred employees. You don't talk to anyone. You don't socialize. I knew Take Homer, who was an R&B singer and is currently in Atlanta trying to make it.
You only knew the other people in the toy section with you.
Yeah, which was like 3 people. The old guy, George, and then the young blonde girl. But then and
turnover is so high.
Yeah.
So you're not having employee barbecues in the back.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
There's hundreds of moving. It's not good for a workplace camaraderie. Anyways. So I'm at the Antelope Walmart on Antelope Road, Sacramento.
Right.
But I go to the hot food, and they have mozzarella sticks, and I like mozzarella sticks. So I said to the lady, "Oh, I want an order of mozzarella sticks," and she goes, "No, you don't want those." And I was like, "What?" She goes, "Those have been out for a while." And I said, "Well, why are you still selling them? Like, I understand you're looking out for my welfare, considering I've known you for 40 seconds, but you're still selling them to customers, even though you know the product is past due or inferior, or just will be a bad experience." And she did that with another thing too, like the jalapeno poppers. I was like, "I'll take some jalapeno." "No, you don't want those."
Oh, gosh.
I was like,
well, what do I want?
You're still selling them to the public, lady. I don't understand what's going on. So we're looking at the selection. And I thought even the employee, when we were buying them, she was just kind of like, "You guys are buying this crap?"
She was shocked that somebody was buying this stuff.
10 in the morning or whatever it was.
She's like, "This is just for display. No one ever actually buys this crap."
Yeah, it was hard to read her because she was wearing a mask. But she was just like, "Oh, you guys must be in dire straits." So first thing we got was potato wedges, which, again, the Wow Chows, they love fried potatoes. But one thing that happened here was the tray of potato wedges was not full.
Yeah.
It was like 20% full.
Yes.
And we ordered 2 large. And then she somehow made this small amount of potato wedges and 2 large. So I thought, well, is this really 2 large potato wedges? Or is she just kind of...
And who's to say? Because she just put them in like a brown paper sandwich bag.
Yeah.
Or like a brown lunch bag.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows, like, what is a large? How full is this bag supposed to be?
Yeah.
And then it was so funny, after she filled both of our 2 large brown paper bags, there's one teeny tiny potato wedge left in the tray.
Yeah.
Like, she gave us everything and she left one little potato wedge.
Is that to make us feel good? Like, oh, we really got our money's worth, and did she munch on that after we left? But as a part-time Walmart employee for about a year, she should have been like, "Oh, there's about 1.5 large orders here, so I'll just make it. I'll give you 2 bags. I'll charge you for 1."
Yeah.
Like, she should have hooked us up, dude.
Totally.
There wasn't enough potato wedges for 2 large, and if there were, well, that's a pathetic large order of potato wedges. Another thing is that you can't pay there. You can't pay at the hot food area. You got to take this hot food and then walk over to the self-checkout or a regular cashier. And it's like, well, like, I remember at my Walmart, you could pay there, and that was part of the convenience. Like, you pick out what you want, and then you pay, and you get the hell out of there. But instead of we had to go to self-checkout, it was a whole to-do. So we got potato wedges, 2 large potato wedges, 2 chicken egg rolls, a small cheese bites, which were their cheese curds.
They're like teeny tiny mozzarella. Instead of a mozzarella stick, it's like a mozzarella bite.
Yeah. And then we got 1 large orange chicken. Okay. So I could tell Lennox is about to burst. But so let's review, Len, the potato wedges, thoughts, feelings, comments, reflections.
They were not as good as I thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
They
were fine for potato wedges, but they're not going to knock your socks off.
Yeah.
The chicken egg rolls, then.
They were good.
They were. I thought they were the best thing.
They were better than I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a bite. They were good.
They're really good.
Yeah. And then we also got a large orange chicken.
You can leave if you want, son.
Yeah. Well, you had a bite of that.
Oh, you had a piece of the orange chicken.
Yeah.
What did you think?
It wasn't bad.
He said it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good.
Yeah, wasn't bad, wasn't good.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well,
thanks for being here.
Thanks for coming on. Do you want to plug anything? Let people know about your new Netflix series. Where can they find you on TikTok? What's going on in your life?
Nope.
Alrighty. Well, that's not the end of the program. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Len, you could absolutely you could absolutely stay here, but
yeah, if you want to leave, go ahead. Len.
Yeah, I would leave too, Len. Okay. So we got 2 large potato wedges, 2 chicken egg rolls, a small order of cheese bites, and 1 large orange chicken. Let's talk about the orange chicken. So they had 2 trays of chicken. One was deemed orange chicken. One was deemed barbecue chicken. And I was like, okay, yes.
And oop.
Okay. There were 2 trays of chicken. One was deemed orange chicken. One was deemed barbecue chicken. Now, first of all, there weren't signs. There weren't like little labels. And we had to ask her, like, what's this? What's that? And she was like, that's orange chicken. That's barbecue chicken. Slight difference in tint of red/orange. But we were like, okay, we trust you, lady. This led me to think about the greater issue about the barbecue is deemed a boneless wing, and then orange chicken is deemed a Chinese food.
Yeah.
A Chinese cuisine in a Chinese restaurant, traditionally speaking. So I thought, well, okay, it's all chicken. It's all boneless chicken. It's all boneless wings. But where the American stops the barbecue boneless wings and where the Chinese cuisine begins is just sauce.
Yeah. And there's probably like one ingredient it's the orange that separates them.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's purely identical.
I would venture to say the taste is probably identical or nearly identical.
Yeah.
Like there's maybe a little cumin or whatever in the orange chicken, or a dash of paprika, but like Wingstop, and we've been to Fire Wings, these places that have, well, they have regular wings, but then they have boneless wings, which oxymoron.
What is a boneless wing?
It's nothing. It's meaningless. It's nonsense. But the difference, like garlic pepper, they're just throwing some garlic pepper on there, and then that's your dish, and they give you sauces, but that's a quote unquote like Southern dish. Is some garlic pepper or lemon pepper or whatever, salt. And then you throw some quote unquote orange sauce on there, and it's like, oh, it's a Chinese dish. It's very odd. It's very odd. And I don't, why aren't people talking about this?
You know, it really makes you think that the differences between us really aren't that great at all.
That's true. That's true. We're all just people out here.
We're all just human beings on this planet Earth.
Eating chicken. My other problem was at the price. So back when I was a young man, honey, I used to be young, you would order like an orange chicken a la carte. It'd be about $10. Some places $8, $9, some places $11, $12. Okay. But recently, again, thanks Joe Biden, supply chain, labor shortage, whatever you want to call it, we got General Chicken from East Side Cuisine, which is like a mom and pop Chinese place in West Sacramento. $15.50 for one dish.
For some chicken.
Yeah. So nearly $16 for some chicken. And I was like, okay, well, because Panda has kind of kept costs in, Panda Express has kept costs in line. And I've checked, it's about $11 for an orange chicken. But I would think Walmart would be more in line with Panda pricing.
You would think.
Than East Side pricing. But this large orange chicken we got was $15.
Ugh.
Like, what the hell?
What the heck, Walmart family?
Another thing is that, again, where does the boneless wing start and where does the Chinese food start? But a large orange chicken was deemed 24 pieces. 24 boneless wings. And you think, what? Like, it's so odd because, like, if you were, again, at Wingstop and you order boneless wings, oh, it's a 16 piece. And you expect 16 pieces. But if you go to Panda Express or East Side,
any Chinese restaurant,
they don't specify a number of pieces of chicken. They just say, oh yeah, that's an order, and they fill it up, the little white carton. So again, where does the barbecue boneless wing start, and where does the Chinese food begin? But it said up there on the sign, 24 pieces of chicken. Okay, so that's what we got for $15. It was a large order. And another thing was the equipment. Like she served it on a plate, a plastic container that has the clear top so you can close it, like a to-go container. But there were 3 areas. So it was like it had like the main dish, and then it had a spot for a side, and it had a spot for another side, divided by walls. And this was served to us as our container. Like, no, it should be a big, like, white carton.
Yeah, they didn't have all of the equipment they needed.
Yeah,
they didn't have the right packaging. They didn't have, like, once again, our potato wedges came in brown paper lunch bags.
Yes.
Our entree chicken came in like a 3 divided platter thing. It was very, very odd.
Yes. And here's where the crux meets the
turf meets the road.
Here's where the Lennox meets the Albert Garcia. We bought 24 pieces of orange chicken. I came home and I was like, I'm really curious as to see, because this is bananas. This is nuts.
Listen,
they don't. If you go to a Chinese restaurant in America, they don't say you're getting 24 pieces.
Yeah,
of chicken.
It just feels like you're getting nickel and dimed.
Yeah,
and we were immediately skeptical. Like, as soon as we walked away, I was like, that ain't 24.
Yeah.
And you were like, she wasn't counting out, like, piece by piece.
She wasn't counting. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So we come home and I was like, I'm gonna count this mofo. Okay. I'm gonna count up in her. I'm gonna be like freaking Count Chocula, Dracula, whoever the vampire in Sesame Street. I was like, I'm gonna count. I be counting.
Yep.
I counted it. Here's where
the rubber meets the road.
Sure.
Isn't that it?
Yes. Here's where the coup meets the de gras. We bought 24. We paid for 24 pieces of chicken, and we got 23.
23.
Okay. I'm sorry, Liz Fisher. Excuse me.
I snorted.
Listen, it's a first world problem, but
Totally.
The entire system is jacked.
Yes.
It makes no sense.
There are worse things happening in the world right now. Nevertheless.
Not much. Not much. Okay, let's get to the food. Is that why we're here? The potato wedges, again, Len said they were fine. I thought they were decent potato wedges.
Yeah.
Someone just hit their alarm in our condo complex. Did you like them, honey? Thoughts, feelings, comments,
fine.
reflections?
They were fine.
I think they were consistent as far as potato wedges. They were fine. Like we said, the chicken egg rolls. Excellent.
Good. Yeah. The bright spot.
Yeah.
In our morning.
Yeah. The small cheese bites, horrible.
Oh my gosh.
They were first of all, they were tiny, mostly breading, very little cheese on the inside, and not fresh.
They're cold and hard.
Yeah. Terrible. And then where the rubber meets the road, the orange chicken, we paid for 24 pieces for $15. We got 23. Where's the justice in America? What did you think, honey?
It's okay.
Yeah, no, it was. I thought it was for the price. They're charging the same price as our local mom and pop Chinese restaurant.
Is me charging. Saying it's okay? Is that too generous?
Yes. you got it. You know what? It's all about tone of voice. You got to say, "It was okay."
It was okay.
You could do that with good too. Like, it was good.
Okay.
It's all about tone. I thought they were terrible. Not fresh.
No, definitely not fresh.
Yeah. We picked it up like 10:30ish, 11. Yeah. So when did they fry them up?
Exactly.
At like 6 in the morning?
Are they cooking this hot, quote unquote, Chinese food at 6, 7 in the morning? Or is this from last night?
Oh,
because I don't imagine all this hot food is being prepared at 7 a.m. Because who the heck is buying it in the morning except for us?
Yeah.
So I have a suspicion. You
have a hunch.
Yeah, I have a feeling that this was from the previous night.
Yeah, it was not good. It was not worth $15 for 23 boneless wings, even though you promised us 24, lady. Just not fresh. The one thing I will say is that the sauce was not overpoweringly sweet.
Yeah, you're very particular about your orange chicken. It can't be too strong or too sweet.
Yeah.
So in that regard, you were pleased.
Yeah, but overall, not a fan. Never again.
Never again. So finally, are you gonna, like, when we walk by it in the mornings to go get our groceries, are you gonna longingly stare at it?
Are you asking me if I'm going to continue to squeal at some 8-hour-old Chinese food?
Well, you know what?
Alleged Chinese food, yes.
I'm still curious about the mac and cheese.
I know. The mashed potatoes look terrible, but the gravy.
I know.
You take some of those not bad potato wedges, dip it in gravy.
Heck yeah.
I don't think it would be too bad. The price and the lack of freshness, terrifying.
And
Alrighty. Are we done, honey?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, that's the end of the program. It's been fun, but not really. Let's all try a little harder next time. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, review, and rate. Or don't. Do whatever you want. You're a grown-up. Make your own decisions. Do what's best for your family. Please be sure to use our promo code for Pretty Litter. We don't have a promo code for Pretty Litter. By the way, that's what we use for Frankie. Right?
We actually do use that.
Yeah. And I listened to a podcast that had Pretty Litter as a sponsor, endorsement. And the podcaster was saying, there's no dust. There's no dust. Well, this morning I was scooping Frankie's poop with vigor and fury like I normally do. And there was dust.
Yes, there's dust. That gets up in your nosies. It gets in your lungs.
Yeah. So would a podcaster lie to me, honey?
Yeah.
Well, why would they do that?
But we wouldn't lie, okay?
They're my friends. Aren't podcasters my friends, honey?
You have a parasocial relationship.
Goodbye, my podcast friends. I love you, my wife, and I love you. We hope you have a good day today and tomorrow. And sure, I may have squealed at some terribly cooked Walmart food, but I'm still a good person, and we're still good people. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day/night. Bye-bye.
And
We got chicken.
Is that crispy, juicy tender?